The deadly silence. The camera slowly zooms in on a stark, gray building surrounded by high concrete walls. Guards patrol silently. The air feels heavy, tense. A solitary figure sits in a small, dimly lit cell, staring out through a tiny window. His eyes are filled with desperation. They call this place the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Even the most dangerous criminals are trapped here, far from the world. One night, one prisoner tried to escape. The plan was daring, intricate, almost impossible. The question lingers: did he succeed, or did the system finally break him? A guard walks down a long corridor. His footsteps echo through the empty halls. Every corner is watched, every move logged. The camera fades to black with the words "the beginning of the end." The sun sets behind the walls of ADX Florence. The hum of electricity fills the air. This prison is not just a building. It's a fortress. Inside, murderers, terrorists, and gang leaders live in solitary confinement. Every prisoner is alone most of the day, with only their thoughts for company. ADX Florence was built in 1994. Concrete walls, razor wire fences, armed guards in every tower. No one escapes. Each inmate lives in a 7 by 12-foot cell, 23 hours alone, 1 hour of exercise in a caged yard. Every move is watched. Among them is one man known as the Mastermind. He has been here for years. His mind is always working, always planning. Before ADX, he was a violent offender in regular prison. Over time, he became someone the system couldn't control. His mind became his weapon. For now, life goes on as usual. But soon, things will change. This man is preparing for something that could shake the entire prison. The escape plan in a dimly lit cell. The Mastermind studies the prison. Blueprints and papers are spread across a small table. For months, he watched every guard, every shift, every corridor. He learned the layout of the entire facility. He even found small cracks in the system. He needed help from the outside. He wrote letters, cryptic messages, asking for assistance. A man long vanished from the public eye receives the letter. He frowns. The Mastermind gathers his tools, not weapons, but patience, planning, and timing. He looks out through his tiny window. A faint smile appears. One question hangs in the air. Can one man outsmart the most secure prison in America, or will he fail like so many before him? The night of the attempt. The night is silent, colder than usual. Lights flicker in the long corridors. Guards walk slowly, checking doors, unaware that something is about to happen. In his cell, the Mastermind moves carefully. Every sound could alert the guards. He checks the tools hidden under his cot, small, improvised items he has smuggled over weeks. He waits for the right moment. A guard passes his cell, keys jingling, flashlights sweeping the walls. The prisoner holds his breath. When the guard disappears around the corner, he springs into action. A panel in the wall is loosened. One by one, small openings reveal narrow passages the guards never notice. He crawls through the cramped space, heart racing. Each step could be the last if he is caught. Meanwhile, a distant alarm blares in another part of the prison. Something has triggered the attention of the control room. From the shadows, another figure appears, a fellow prisoner who had been quietly assisting him. Together, they move closer to the exit, careful and silent. Suddenly, a loud crash echoes down the corridor. Metal clanging against metal. Lights snap on. Guards shout. The escape attempt has begun, but will they make it out alive? Or will the fortress of ADX Florence trap them forever? The chase begins. Alarms wail through the prison, piercing the heavy silence. Red lights flash in every corridor. Guards scramble, shouting orders, their boots pounding on concrete. The Mastermind and his accomplice freeze for a second, listening. Every second counts. They slip into a narrow maintenance tunnel, hoping it will take them closer to freedom. Above them, a guard swings a flashlight, the beam cutting through the darkness. The prisoners hold their breath as the light passes inches away. Every step in the tunnel echoes like thunder. Sweat drips from their faces, but neither stops. They know that one wrong move could mean years added to their sentences, or worse. Ahead, the tunnel opens into a small, dimly lit utility corridor. Pipes run along the ceiling, carrying water and steam. The smell is sharp, the air heavy, but it is a path forward. Suddenly, a loud voice echoes from behind. Stop! Prisoners, stop right there. The Mastermind picks up speed. His mind races, calculating the next move. A heavy steel door is ahead, the last barrier before the outer wall. He pauses for a split second, listening. From the control room, guards are coordinating, radios crackling. K9 units are being called. Every angle is being sealed. The mastermind knows the odds are against him. Every plan, every calculation could fail in a heartbeat. And then, a deafening crash, metal against metal. One of the doors slams shut behind them, cutting off their path. They have reached a turning point. Fight or surrender. Freedom or capture. The deadly confrontation, the steel door slams shut, sending a shock through the mastermind and his accomplice. Panic rises, but they force themselves to stay calm. There's no turning back now. Above, guards swarm the corridors. Flashlights cut through the darkness, bouncing off the walls. The sound of shouting and barking dogs fills the air. The mastermind finds a small vent in the corner. It's tight, barely wide enough to squeeze through, but it's their only chance. He motions to his accomplice, and they crawl in, scraping against the metal edges. The vent twists and turns, each corner a gamble. One wrong move could alert the guards. One misstep could mean capture. Suddenly, a guard's shadow passes below. The prisoners freeze, holding their breath. The guard stops for a moment, then moves on. They exhale slowly, continuing their crawl. Finally, the vent opens into a dim storage room. They drop silently to the floor. Pipes and crates obscure their path, but outside the room, footsteps are closing in. A guard rounds the corner, gun drawn. The mastermind grabs a loose pipe, ready to defend himself. The accomplice backs away, tense, eyes wide. Hands up, the guard shouts. Time slows. The mastermind weighs his options. Fight, flee, or surrender. The next second could change everything. The turning point, the mastermind freezes for a heartbeat, the pipe still in his hand. The guard's eyes are sharp, gun aimed steadily. The accomplice panics, stumbling back into a stack of crates. The crash echoes like a gunshot through the corridor. Guards from the other side of the hall rush in, their boots pounding on the concrete floor. The mastermind knows there's no time to think, only to act. He swings the pipe toward the nearest guard, knocking the gun aside. The guard stumbles, shocked. The accomplice grabs a crate, using it as a shield. They push through a narrow service door and find themselves in a maintenance stairwell. The stairwell leads upward. Outside, the night air is faintly audible. Freedom is close, but the sound of guards chasing them grows louder. They sprint up the metal stairs, hearts pounding. The mastermind hears radios crackle below. They're in the stairwell. Stop them. At the top, a heavy gate bars their way. It's locked. The mastermind searches quickly and finds a latch, forcing it open just as another guard reaches the top. They slip through, gasping for air, and find themselves in an open rooftop area. The vast, dark prison grounds stretch out below them. The dogs are barking, and floodlights sweep across the yard. There's no path to freedom without being seen. The mastermind looks down, calculating the impossible. A single decision will determine their fate: jump, surrender, or find another way. The tension is unbearable. The leap of fate, the mastermind stands at the edge of the rooftop, heart hammering. Below, the prison yard is bathed in harsh floodlights. Guards and dogs are moving fast. Every second counts. The accomplice hesitates, fear in his eyes. "We can't make it," he whispers. The mastermind shakes his head. "We have to try." He scans the surrounding buildings, an old maintenance shed, a stack of containers, a narrow gap in the outer wall. There's only one chance, a small gap that could take them closer to the outer fence. He takes a deep breath, counting silently. 1, 2, 3, and jumps. The air rushes past him as he falls, landing hard but safe on the lower roof. He rolls to absorb the impact, then looks back. His accomplice hesitates, but finally follows. From above, guards shout. Flashlights sweep the roofs. Dogs bark furiously below. The mastermind sprints toward the gap, dragging the accomplice behind him. Every step is a gamble. One slip, one miscalculation, and it's over. They reach the edge of the outer fence. The barbed wire gleams under the floodlights. He looks for a weak point, a small opening left in the maintenance of the perimeter. As he begins to climb, a spotlight hits him directly. A dog lunges at the fence, barking loudly. Guards scramble, shouting orders. The mastermind freezes for a split second, then keeps climbing. Adrenaline pushes him forward. They are so close to freedom. Just one more move, one final leap. The final moments, the mastermind grips the top of the fence, barbed wire cutting into his hands. Pain shoots up his arms, but he forces himself to keep going. Freedom is just a few feet away. The accomplice struggles behind him, claws at the wire, bleeding, but determined. The dogs are barking ferociously, guards closing in fast. A guard fires a warning shot. The bullet ricochets off the metal near the mastermind. Sparks fly. He glances down. Every second counts. One slip could be the end. He climbs over the wire and drops to the ground outside the fence. His legs shake, but he rolls forward, avoiding the barbs. The accomplice follows, but just as he lands, a guard grabs him by the arm. The mastermind hesitates. Should he run or try to help? In that split second, a flashlight blinds him. From the shadows, a figure emerges, another inmate who had been waiting on the outside with a rope. It's risky, dangerous, but it could work. He tosses the rope toward the accomplice. Hands grab it. A tense struggle ensues as the two prisoners pull themselves over the last barrier. Gunshots ring out behind them. Dogs bark, sprinting toward the scene. The mastermind doesn't look back. He knows the fence is the last line. They hit the ground outside the wire. The cold night air hits their faces. Freedom is real. Just a few hundred meters away, the forest and open terrain could hide them. But ADX Florence is a fortress. Guards are everywhere. Every step is life or death. The mastermind looks ahead. One wrong move, one noise, and it's all over. The aftermath, the mastermind and his accomplice sprint through the darkness, the cold night air biting their faces. Every rustle in the forest makes their hearts jump. They know the guards are close, guns ready, dogs tracking their scent. They reach a dense patch of trees and duck behind thick trunks, trying to catch their breath. The sound of barking and shouting fades slightly, but they know it's only a matter of time before the search tightens. The accomplice collapses, gasping. Blood drips from cuts on his arms and legs. The mastermind kneels beside him, pressing a hand to his wounds, trying to calm him. "Keep moving," he whispers. "We can't stop now." Behind them, the prison is a fortress of lights and alarms. The perimeter is sealed, helicopters hover in the sky, and every road leading away is blocked. ADX Florence wasn't built to let anyone go easily. For a moment, they think they've made it. Just a few more minutes, and they could vanish into the wilderness. Suddenly, a loud crack echoes through the forest. A searchlight swings toward them. The accomplice screams, tripping over a root. The mastermind grabs him, pulling him into the shadows. They freeze. Every heartbeat feels deafening. One wrong move, and it's over. In the chaos, the mastermind realizes something. Even if they survive the night, ADX Florence is always watching. Every move, every plan, every hope of freedom will be met with relentless pursuit. And in that moment, he knows the fight isn't over. The hunt intensifies. The mastermind and his accomplice move quietly through the forest, every step calculated. The moonlight barely penetrates the dense trees, casting long shadows that hide them, but not for long. Helicopters hover overhead, their spotlights sweeping across the terrain. Dogs bark in the distance, and the sound of guards shouting orders grows louder. ADX Florence isn't just a prison, it's a machine built to hunt. The accomplice stumbles again, his injuries slowing them down. The mastermind drags him along, ignoring the pain in his own body. There is no room for mistakes. Suddenly, they hear voices behind them. Flashlights slice through the darkness, and footsteps crush leaves and branches. The mastermind stops, pressing his back against a tree. He signals for silence. The guards are too close. One wrong move, and it's over. He spots a narrow creek ahead. If they can reach it, the water could mask their scent from the dogs. They move carefully, slipping into the cold, shallow water, letting it carry them silently downstream. Hours pass. Every sound is magnified. A snapping branch, a distant howl, a gunshot in the distance. Each one could mean capture or death. By dawn, they reach a small clearing. The forest stretches ahead, but beyond it lies open land, and with it, the risk of being seen. The mastermind looks at his accomplice. "We have to keep going," he whispers. "ADX won't stop. They'll hunt us until the last second." A helicopter hovers closer, its spotlight cutting through the trees. The chase is far from over. And in that moment, the mastermind realizes something chilling. Escaping ADX Florence isn't just about fleeing the prison. It's about surviving the hunt that follows. The final choice, the forest opens into a vast clearing. The mastermind and his accomplice pause, gasping for breath, eyes scanning for any sign of the pursuing guards. The sound of helicopters and barking dogs is growing fainter, but the danger is still close. The accomplice leans against a tree, bloodied and exhausted. "I can't keep going," he whispers. The mastermind looks at him, torn. For weeks, months, he had planned this escape. Every move calculated, every risk weighed. And now, after all this, it comes down to one choice: save his partner or go alone. He grips the accomplice's arm. "We finish this together," he says. They move carefully toward the edge of the clearing, where the forest ends and the open plains begin. Freedom is within reach, but it's exposed. One misstep, one noise, and ADX Florence will be on them again. A helicopter hovers overhead, searching. A dog team approaches from the north. Time is running out. The mastermind scans the horizon and sees it, a narrow path along a river, leading far from the prison, hidden by trees and low hills. It's the only chance. Together, they sprint, jumping over fallen logs and ducking under branches. The dogs bark closer. Shots ring out in the distance. The chase is almost over. Finally, they reach the riverbank. The water is cold and fast, but it offers cover. They dive in, letting the current carry them downstream. For a moment, the noise of the world fades. The mastermind looks back toward the prison, the fortress that has controlled him for years, now shrinking behind the trees. The accomplice struggles, but keeps moving. Together, they disappear into the misty river, leaving ADX Florence behind. Some say the mastermind and his accomplice were never seen again. Others whisper that they were caught miles away, dragged back to the prison, and vanished into solitary confinement for life. One thing is certain: inside ADX Florence, even the most carefully planned escape is a gamble with impossible odds. And those who dare to try, test the limits of freedom and of themselves. The fortress remains, silent, unyielding, waiting for the next challenge.